And it goes pretty quick. Hello. We're live. Woo.
So we are.
It's so funny. People always say that. You're like, what do we say to start? Okay, we're live.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It's so funny. Well, welcome, Ruth. Thank you for taking time from your day to come play in the Space of Gratitude Facebook group. I'm so grateful that you said yes.
I wouldn't have done anything else, Betsy. I adore you, and this is one of my favorite topics. So it's a
Yay.
total no-brainer.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I've been asking the creation of the Space of Gratitude what it would like. And, just got a hit to start playing with some of you amazing peeps that are helping create this amazing group. And so your name popped, and I said, okay, let's see if she was willing to play, and she said yes right away. So and I said to Ruth right before we started, and hi Facebook user, and hi Kathy.
Ooh.
I said, I have no script, nothing set in stone or anything, and Ruth said neither do I. So yay.
Yeah, total. Yeah, I. It's following the energy is so sexy, right?
Right? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So I'm just wondering, like, for you, oh, hi, Annette. I'm wondering for you, like, what, when you are the space of gratitude, what is that like
Uh,
for you?
it's just pure magic. I am gratitude. And so when I'm in that space, when I'm being that space of gratitude, it's like this delicious space of going, oh, look at me. Like the glorious being and all the different energies which are different every time. You go, oh
Yeah.
wow, look at that. There's that now. There's that. Oh, look at that. And it's a lovely space where you've got um there just aren't the barriers, are there? And it's you and the universe, you and the things that you're aware of, and it's just this beautiful thing where everything's turned on.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. The beautiful space where everything is turned on.
Yeah.
And Leslie in the comments said, Ruth is never one to pass up playing with gratitude.
This is true. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I am grateful for gratitude because,
Yeah.
it's one tool that you can use. It has got nothing to do with money. It's got nothing to do with health. You can do it,
Yeah.
whatever the weather. Gratitude is available, right? Um,
I love that. That's a great quote. Whatever the weather, gratitude is available. There you go. We'll make that into a meme and put it in the group here. I love that.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, Betsy. I was brought up to say thank you for things, right?
Mhm.
I
Yep.
was brought up. Um, there was a right way, but my mother brought us up really sweetly, and um,
Aw.
she really did, and manners were very important to both my parents, and
Yep.
this is the thing. So I knew how to speak politely to parents and say thank you very much for the egg sandwiches or whatever it was, thank you very much for having me, and thank you
Yeah.
very much for my present, and maybe writing thank you letters.
Yes.
Um, but that it's not gratitude, it's not quite. I mean, there is some element of gratitude there, but it took me a bit of a while to get what gratitude is, and I'm
Mhm.
sure there's more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Um,
funny, I was talking to, the team the other day, and we were really exploring that exact thing of the depths of gratitude and,
right.
it and what it contributes to your life. So I love that you're saying pretty much the same stuff that we were saying the other day.
I must be psychic, who
You
knows,
must
right?
be. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. For me, it took because I, you know, I I was brought up in a very violent family. It was very
Mhm.
scary,
Yeah.
and you knew that, you know. Of course, I valued manners too, or maybe I did. I don't like. Maybe I'll discover that I don't. That would be funny further down the line. But I remember when sort of gratitude became a thing, like somewhere maybe in the 80s or 90s, everyone started talking about gratitude. And it's like, oh, what are they talking about? I don't quite get it. It's a different kind of thing and so I just I explored it on my own. I didn't really know where to start. Does that make sense,
Mhm.
Betsy?
It does. It does, yeah. It's like, what the F is gratitude? Like,
Yes.
seriously. Like, I really didn't have a clue either, and I'm certainly still learning it, and it wasn't something prevalent in my household either. I had a very violent,
Right.
upbringing, and the same thing, you were supposed to say thank you, but it was something that was, like, forced on you, and
Yeah.
you just did it, and even, like, the thank you cards or whatever, there was, like, okay, um and then to get from there, that place to where you are now, like, what did you do? What tips and tricks did you do to start really exploring what gratitude is for you?
Yeah, and I really love the way that you said that. Where did you start? Because
Yeah.
um, somewhere, I mean, I'm not saying for there maybe for many people they just know what gratitude is, and that's
Mhm.
wonderful. I don't,
Yeah.
that's great. But for
Mhm.
me, it's like where I chose to start with gratitude. There were lots of different tools that people would advocate, but like I said earlier, gratitude didn't depend on money or health. You didn't have to go
Yeah.
outside to do it. You could just like wherever you are, you can explore what gratitude is. And so
Mhm.
I chose that. And so my actually it started off by saying, where can I start?
Yeah.
Where can I start with this gratitude thing? And it was me and the universe, and it was years and years ago. And I just so it starts with a question: what is it that I am grateful for?
Yeah.
And I did, I'm going to say right from the get go, I had quite a lot of feelings of guilt that I wasn't
Mhm.
grateful for all the things that people would say. Like now on social media is a different thing than when we were, when we would have started with this, there was no social media. But you did see people talk about, or you'd read about it and stuff, and these people go, "Oh, I'm so grateful for my parents." And I go, I can't go there. That's just like that's a non-starter. That's like maybe way down the line I can do that, right? But and I felt so crappy because, God, yes, yet another way to judge yourself. But
Yeah.
but actually, I just I thought, well,
Mhm.
I know I've changed so much over the years. Like, further down the line, all kinds of things are amazing and possible. But let's start what I know that I'm grateful for. And actually, it took quite a lot of courage. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It
It
took quite a
does.
lot of courage because I could see mm, in my world, I was the only person I noticed who was choosing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I was also dealing with a lot of stuff, And it was just, well, where can I start? But for me, nature has always been. So imagine it's for a lot of people, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Beauty and gratitude actually very much go hand in hand for me. Um, I'm incredibly grateful for beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I keep exploring that, and it keeps developing and unfolding and unfurling, and there's more magic reveals itself all the time. And in
Yeah.
actual fact, I have a what we at the beginning of Facebook, or whenever we will call them like pages. I don't know. I think now we call them like business pages and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I had quite a lot on my plate, and I just thought, I am going to start, because I started off. I'd qualified as a crystal healer. In the UK, we get the chance to become. We can study for diplomas in crystal healing. I think it's the only country I know that you can do that. So
Oh.
so once I'd
Mhm.
qualified, and I was really looking forward to it, I had really lovely experiences with my clients and stuff. And I just thought, well, I may not be, because I had lots of stuff going on, like crazy amounts of stuff going on in my world. I just thought, well, I'm going to start with the things that I'm grateful for, and I just shared every day, because I have this capacity, this communion with nature, with crystals, obviously, but animals and plants and stuff. Here we have a little orchid friend of
Mhm. I
mine here.
noticed that right away.
And so I just found these beautiful. I started off just finding the most beautiful photos I could find, and then over the years, I just posted so many beautiful photographs, which I shared with people. And a few years later, I had like 5,000 people like just enjoying the photos that I was taking, just because it was just this sense that bit some aspect of nature desire to contribute. And it was an exploration of beauty and gratitude. This
Mm.
page started off as that, and I had, yeah, it's just so. And it just, this kind of like, I would post however many, like 3, 4, 5 different photos a day, and then I just got so much from that experience, that
Mhm.
commitment to.
Nice.
And yeah, I really, it created huge amounts for me. And I love the way that people responded to. It's gone a little dormant in recent years, because I just wanted to throw out all the crap that hasn't been working. So I've just been like going at it hammer and tongs with access tools and classes, and and also developing my business a little. And so that it's been a little dormant, but like it's still that beautiful energy of
Mhm. Yep.
gratitude there, and it's some
Yeah.
really exquisite photos, I have to
Oh,
say.
nice. Well, you
Really.
could post some in here. We would love to see them.
Oh,
Tap
what a
into
great
that gorgeous
idea.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be
Yay.
delighted. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
delighted to do that. Because
Awesome.
yeah, the world is an extraordinary place. This planet
Truly.
is so extraordinary. And when I qualified, I'd actually done 2 diplomas in crystal healing. And
Mm, nice.
so you get to know quite a lot. But actually, once I'd finished, I realized, oh, I can see a whole load more that we never went into, which I explored on my own. And so this page again, it was like, oh wow, the wonder, the delight, the
Mhm.
beauty. And every time, no matter what you're going through, if you choose to engage with gratitude, even if it makes 2% of a difference,
Yeah.
that gave me enough delight, to carry on with the exploration of what gratitude and beauty are. And
Yeah.
and all the energies of the planet and whatever. Go
I
on.
love that. You know, you touched on a couple things that the that I would love to just talk about a little bit more. And
Mm.
one of them was, you know, the courage that it takes and the
Yeah.
vulnerability that it takes to actually explore what gratitude is, you
Mhm.
know, beyond the surface, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
And, you know, um, and even the willingness to acknowledge it and to recognize that opens up for so much more. And then the other piece that I wanted to say was what you just said of and now of course the words have gone they flew away. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, they came back. Yay.
Yay! Grateful.
Thanks for coming back to the station to get me. And that was the piece of, you know, even if it's 2% more gratitude, that, you know, that again can be such a contribution no matter what is going on in your life. If you can find even just a little tiniest thing to be grateful for, how it can shift things. So
Yeah.
could you give us an example of where you've done that?
Oh, I mean
Nothing like
now
putting me on the spot.
nowadays. Oh no, no, it's just great. I mean, I'm a great believer in the 2% thing. Like it really makes a massive difference. I can remember actually, I can say this one thing. I really, really got it. I chose really, really big one time, and I chose to go to Write Riches for You facilitators in London. Carrie Glassell came to London, and she hired this like exquisite house,
Nice.
and it was a very select few who came, and it was like lots of the big names in access. It was
Mhm.
like, oh, what am I doing here? How the hell did I get here? And I can remember arriving late. I was half an hour late, and
Oops.
and well, you know, London is a bit tricky. You can't
Yeah,
entirely predict things, even if you plan, you
yeah.
know, to be there an hour early. It can all be scuppered really easily. So I arrived there, and I just was so like, what am I going to do? What am I doing here? I know I'm meant to be here, but like, I just so like, everyone just let swallow me up ground, you know. But I they I was really delighted how I eventually realized I wasn't actually being judged, and I was being included in the conversation. And
Nice.
there was this moment where I can't remember which day it was on or how far in, but it was there. Like started to warm up, and then Curry turned to me and said, "Well, I can't remember what the question was. It was this really big, important thing in my life, and something to do with money." And she said, "Well, what if you could change it by 2%?" And I burst out laughing, and I literally could not stop. I belly aching for maybe like 3/4 of an hour, and 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 not even exaggerating. And she said after that, I've never had such a great response to a facilitation, and I'm gonna stick with that 2% thing because, you know, it's for anybody who doesn't know this 2% thing, and I'm not saying you don't, but it's such a valuable thing because for me, it's funny whenever I go live, my nose goes crazy. It's kind of it must be I think it's entity stuff. Everybody wants to talk through me when I go on a live. It's really fun. So you'll just have to wait. Um, um, yeah, but change feels like this
Yeah.
huge great thing, like, and you're in this really really vulnerable place, and you maybe feel broken, and maybe you've been totally abandoned, or you know, maybe you're completely, you know, strapped for cash, as you use that expression over there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
strapped for
Mhm.
cash. It's such I haven't heard it for ages. It just came. So, but and you think, well, it takes so much courage to change. And we're
Yeah.
told all the time that change is horrible, you're gonna hate it,
Yeah.
it's really painful. And there are times when, of course, that happens. But making change significant is a really big blight to the
Yeah.
possibilities that are available to you. When
Yeah.
she said that thing, you just 2%, it's like, what? It does That's just so easy. And by the time, I mean, if you chose 10% every 10 seconds, I mean, how many thousands of percent would you be greater would you be by the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because we're usually like, well, it's all or nothing. I have to
Yeah,
go all in 100 million% right away. And then, like there's when you have that point of view, it really doesn't give you another option. So when you do, oh, I could choose 10% or 3% or 2%,
exactly.
and like, oh, right, it really does kinda take some of the pressure off of your
So
that you
much.
put on yourself,
Yeah.
so that's a great
And then
tip.
you just then you feel so like, "Oh my, I've been so silly taking everything so just in
Yeah,
a flash, you just know, "Oh my god, this
yeah,
is just
it's like
could be so much easier than I've been making it." And,
yeah. Well, and I love that you laughed for, 45 minutes or
I did
so, just like
raucous laughter.
I love that. That must have been a great, great class.
Think everyone was in stitches by the end of it.
I'm sure, 'cause you have a wonderful infectious laugh as well, so
Apparently.
And laughing is such a great release, for where the places where we stick ourselves and we do all these things. And then you just like sometimes you don't even know why you're laughing, but you're just laughing, and it really does change the energy of it.
And
Uh,
what a thing
yeah,
to be grateful for, laughter.
yes, for
'Cause,
sure.
you
Oh,
know,
what a gift.
I could not, I mean, there were years where I didn't have laughter in my life, and I can remember when I learned bars, and I'd been committing to doing it, at least once a week at one point, sometimes up to 4, and all of a sudden one day, I was going through I won't go into all the stuff, but it was like, if I described it, you'd go, "Oh my god." I, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was going through one of the sorts of things that everybody most dreads that they would go through. And all of a sudden, one day, I was watching something on YouTube or something, and I burst out laughing. And I was like, "Oh, I forgot I did that. I forgot what it was like to laugh." And it was like, "Wow, that's so amazing." And I knew it was bars that had
Yeah,
made that possible. And it's like that, under the sort of pressure I was under, laughter was about the last thing that you'd expect to come out of it.
yeah,
And so, I was like, "Wow, this stuff is gold. This is total
truly,
gold." So,
truly,
yeah. So, I'm so
truly,
grateful
truly.
for laughter. Every time I
Yes,
laugh, I was like, "Wow, this is just
yeah.
the best thing."
It's such a gift not only to yourself, but everyone around you. And,
Not always.
it it
No, I'm just
not always, you're funny.
Look at me, I'm so bright red. Yeah.
Oh,
But
it
I
is
know what you
so
mean. Like, if
yeah.
when you're on the same page, and when you've got somebody who gets your sense of humor, and I love, I'm really grateful for people who get my sense of humor.
Love that. You're so cute. Oh, Leslie, thank you so much for your comment. She said, she loves that, she's been stuck in a funk with everything everywhere all over Christmas, and it was too much to sort out, and then a couple of days ago, I thought, "Just sort the table," and it's like some magic opened up, and I've sorted most of it now. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that really is. And so many times we can put ourselves in this state of overwhelm because we think, well, we have to do it all. And I have a great example of that. My storage room got piled high with all my mom's stuff when she passed away. You
Right.
literally could not even move. You open the door, and if you took one step in, and when we moved her in, she wanted to go in there. I'm like, oh God, no, Mom, because if anything fell on you, it like you'd be under this giant rubble.
That's like something from a Charlie Chaplin
Yeah,
film, isn't it?
exactly. And she'd be like, "But I wanna go in there and clean it out." I was like, "Oh, honey, no, we'll pull one box out at a time." But for like, and then after she passed away, I was like, I couldn't even open that door. Like literally, I'd open it and then go, "Oh God," and then just close it again. And then finally it was like the same, "What if you just take out one box at a time, Betsy?" And like you don't have to do the whole room because it wouldn't even be able to be done in one day, let alone that
Right.
was the pressure I was putting on myself.
Yeah.
So now I'm actually having fun with it and feel such a space of accomplishment every time I have like 2 or 3 things, and it's, so things are getting emptied out and I'm throwing away, and I've got a huge pile for donation and, selling some things and like, all the things. But now
Yeah.
instead of like being frozen into not being able to do anything, that same thing. What if I do 2%?
Yeah.
What if I do 1%? And it's changing. So
Yeah.
I've been loving this conversation today so much, Ruth. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you guys for watching now and in the future. And we have a couple of fun things coming up for this group, so stay tuned for more juicy details. And truly, like, I would love to see the pictures you talked about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
I've got
sure.
thousands of them.
Yay! All right, let's start peppering them in here.
I'm not even joking. I
I'm
literally have
sure you do.
thousands.
That's awesome. That is
I'll
so
do that.
awesome. And any parting words? Thank you, Leslie's got gratitude. Any parting words for everybody?
Well, what would it take to have gratitude for yourself above
Yes.
everything else? And that may that may be a delightful question, and that may be totally abhorrent, right? It might be like, oh, where do I go with that? But
Yeah.
but it, it's a question, it's an invitation,
Yeah.
and it's there's not a right way and a wrong way to be grateful for yourself. But
You want to say
uh,
that again?
there's not a right way and a wrong way to be grateful for yourself. And
Truly.
I think that's really a useful thing because it changes, right? Gratitude isn't a static thing. It's energy like
Yeah.
everything else. And the universe is constantly expanding, and there are new things flowing through and everything. So, and also acknowledging all the things that you've changed so far, and maybe even acknowledging your own obstinacy. It could be a fun thing,
Yeah.
just have a laugh at the silly things. And but wherever, just start wherever. It's exactly the same as I said before. Where is it that you can start being grateful for you? And that would be, or where, if you're already aware of gratitude for yourself, what else can you be grateful for
Mhm.
you about and with and for, and what energies can you include? There's just it's the beginning of a lifelong romance, really.
It truly is. Yeah. Truly, truly is. Well, thank you, and I hope you'll come back on here with me sometime. What a delight to have you on here and share some time with you, and thank you all for being here with us.
Anytime, I'd be delighted.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Betsy. I'm so grateful for you.
Mwah.
Didn't go there, but I am.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.